Well, thank you for attending the fifth session of the weekly webinars. We are explaining this in these sessions, different initial basics of the Agora in order to use it on different university alliances. My name is, just introducing myself, my name is Jesus Alcover. I'm associate professor at UPC and I'm coordinating the OPAU project. And the session for today with me is Alba and Farnas, members of the team. And the object of, or the purpose of this session for today is explain the customer relationship management module, the CRM. Okay, it's a very important concept from my perspective. It's one of the highlights of the class. Okay, and the idea today is to explain how can be used and how can be tailored to your specific needs. We will explain how are we using this CRM module in the Agoras that we are providing by default and what we are doing in Unite. Okay? And let me share my screen with let me share my screen. Oh, sorry. Yes. Just a few slides. Just the idea of these slides is to guide the session. First of all, this is the presentation, the customer relationship management concept configuration that we are going to use in the Agoras. This is one of the basic models of the Agoras. We are using the CRM almost by default as Odoo is providing. Okay? Remember that Odoo is an ERP, an enterprise resource planning, and it is made by different modules. And as a business platform, the CRM concept is one of the most important concepts in a business platform because one of the goals of the companies are selling. And this is the module that is dealing with the different relationships or with the let's say stakeholders / customers. And first of all, what is a CRM? Just for those that you are not familiar with this concept, the CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And the idea of this CRM is that now we are explaining the technology, the platform, but the most important part is that there are processes. Okay? There is a process to manage and analyze the different interactions across a relationship life cycle with our stakeholders. Okay? Traditionally, in the business, we use the CRM to create or generate leads, okay, because they are potential customers, and we want to process in a systematic way, achieve that these potential customers become real customers. That means that in this selling process, we have the lead generation with potential customers, and then once we have these leads, we work with them, okay, just with quotations, proposals, demos, and so on. And at the end, finally, we have a sales order that's a confirmation of a quotation, and after that, you can have this post sales service. This is the classical approach of the CRM in a business world. Okay? What happens in the Agora context? In the Agora context, we are not selling, at least so far, we are not thinking that the Agoras could be used for selling. I don't know in the future, but not now. And we are not selling, we are not collaborating. Okay? And we don't have customers, we don't have clients as is. What we have is stakeholders. And we want to manage the relationship with these stakeholders. Okay? And in our case, in the University Alliances, we have as stakeholders, well, different types of stakeholders, such researchers, professors, academia, the university staff, students as well, they are part of our stakeholders, and as well external partners, industry, government, and etc. Okay, this is our stakeholders. And then why we are using a CRM? We are using a CRM because for us, the CRM established this mature way, this established or systematic way of dealing with these stakeholders, to foster this collaboration, to track. It's important, this word, track, because track implies measurement and implies ways to demonstrate your impact. And with the CRM, we track requests and inquiries of all these stakeholders. You can decide, but initially all the stakeholders. And as well, enable this data-driven, because we compile data to decide, the decision makers. And we have in a centralized place all the communication and info. And this tracking means that we have information and all the different exchanges of messages between the different, among the different stakeholders. Okay? Well, and then how now the idea is we are capturing requests. What is the meaning of request? Request is some stakeholders want something from us, from the alliance. We can have a general inquiry, and we can have specific inquiries associated with the catalogs objects. Remember that we have different catalogs, and the main method to get or gather these inquiries is using forms. We have all other alternatives. Okay, for example, we can create manually these inquiries because somebody calls us or they send an email. There is an email that automatically sending an email automatically is created an opportunity. So concept that we will show now. But for our preferred way of dealing with inquiries or gathering inquiries is through forms. Okay? And the idea is that we will promote this filling of forms, because with this form we can, I would say, drive to the right people to deal with these inquiries. Okay? And let me share my screen, because this is just for, that means that if I go, I will share, for example, yes. If I, yes, this is the Agora of this is the Agora, the testing Agora, and we have, by default, in all the Agoras, we have this contact us. Okay? And this contact us means that if somebody just wants to send an inquiry to us, a question, a specific request, okay? Oh, this is authenticated. I thought
yes, it was... Go to this the dep link.
Okay, let me see.
So you open the free.
Yes. Sorry, this is the. If I click on the contact us,
you're sharing the other window. That's it.
If we, sorry, let me go. If I go to the contact us here, okay, I have a form. Okay. What happens? We can normally what we do is we offer this contact us openly available to anyone that wants to fill this, which is the problem with this kind of forms, that you can receive requests not only for your stakeholders, for all the stakeholders in the world. That means that even scam and bots and this kind. For sure, we have tools such as captchas and so on. But for us, one of the options to restrict that the people that is inquiring something to us is under this stakeholders group is that we require to log in. Okay? And this is one of the decisions to take. In our case, we normally request to, is what you see before, no? That in order to fill a form, we request you to log in. And you can make it openly available like this. And then here, this is the generic form, and the specific form is that if you go, for example, to our research infrastructures, and you are looking for a research infrastructure, finally you find this one. Okay, you're interested in this. You see here this contact, okay? And if you click on this contact, automatically, okay, you can fill this form. You see that I have signed in. That means that automatically I can see. If I was, let me go out. If I go to the research infrastructures, and for me this is interesting. Okay, if I click on the contact, I need to log in. Okay, that means that if I hit I go here, oh, I don't remember if it was, yes. Okay, but and then we have these two ways of, basically ways of receiving inquiries. And this is the way that we are using. For example, in Unite, we are all inquiries from any stakeholder in Unite is processed in this way, as I'm going to explain now. Even the students, staff, student, professors, they are requiring things, and they are using or the specific forms or the generic form. Okay? Well, okay? And then if I go to this, that means that we are having different forms to receive inquiries. Okay? And how can we organize this? We're organizing using the sales terminology, because if we have the CRM is a sales module, is we organize the groups of people as a sales teams. That means that we will associate a group of people, a sales team, a specific sales team for a specific form. For example, the generic form will deal, the generic form inquiries will be assigned to a specific group of people dealing with these generic inquiries. For example, in Unite, it's assigned to me. I receive all the inquiries for. And if we are using catalogs, there will be a catalog manager that will receive notification of these new inquiries of the catalogs. Then, here, if I go, for example, if I go to the CRM, you will see by default this kind of Kanban view, okay, with the different inquiries. Inquiries in the CRM terminology are opportunities, okay? Because we have an opportunity. Remember, in the business world, it's opportunity, quotation, sales order, invoice, payment. Okay, this is the business process. But in our case, is opportunity inquiries, and we deal with this inquiry, and this inquiry will be successfully fulfilled or not. This is basically the approach. It's a simplified approach. And here, you see different inquiries coming from different. This is coming. In this case, I fill this form as a generic form. There's somebody that is Mr. Smith, okay, John Smith, sent filled the form, the generic form that was not required to be authenticated. This is one of the problems, that you don't know which is the organization behind this. For example, it can be a Gmail that you are not able to know which. Whereas if they are authenticated using, for example, Educate, we know that which is the university behind this additional information, because when they authenticate using Educate, we have this. Well, not a lot of information, basically the name, the official institutional email. But because, for example, students normally, if they are open to send or fill the form, they use a personal email, but school. And with institutional email, it's easier. Okay? And the way to configure this, remember, I was looking for the sales team. If you go to configuration, the sales team, we have here this organizational approach. We have, and it's completely tailored, customized to the different needs. The sales is a generic one. You can change this name. This is by default. They created this. The sales, the generic one, and we have different sales team associated with different, in this case, catalogs. Why? Because normally, for a specific catalog, the people who is dealing with this specific catalog are different. Okay? And in our case in here, I think Alba configured that I know, and the way to know that you are a member of this sales team, here I did it on purpose, that, or Alba did it on purpose, that here you don't see. Okay? Why? Because the important thing is that you appear here as a follower. If you appear here as a follower, when there is an inquiry opportunity created in this with this form, I will receive a notification in my email. Okay, you have a new inquiry to deal with. Okay, but in order to see it in a more proper way, the idea is in the team leader, I will appear myself here, and the team, for example, I can add here Oops. I can add this here, for example, one of the members of the. Is not. Well, you see that technically, if you add here, you click on add, you can add members of the team, but I don't see why.
It gets stuck for some reason if you refresh, Jesus.
Yes, I'm refreshing this. Oh. Is this working for you, Alba?
Yeah. To add a follower, you mean it?
Yes, I mean.
Yes, but did you refresh the whole page? I mean,
Yes, this is what I'm doing. Oh, yes, now.
Okay.
Let me go back to what I was in the CRM. Here in the CRM, I go to the configuration sales team in the sales. Well, this is the information, yes. This is my name, yes. And technically, I will try it again. Sorry. Yes. And here I can add, for example, this usuario upayu is one of the. This is the way to organize. But the important thing is that if we want people receiving notifications and having access to this, the inquiries from this, they have to be added to as a follower. Okay, and that means that to be coherent, what I said is you should usually yes here, and I will. If I add a follower means that if I click this, they will receive. In this case, usuario UPA will receive an email notificating this. Otherwise, just I add it as a follow. Okay? Well, this is the way of managing the sales team. That we have different sales teams, and for example, when you fill the testing, the spreadsheet with the testing groups, and these testing groups are associated with catalogs, this is one of the tasks that we are. Okay? But this is the way to configure. And the way to configure for example, in this case, this form, remember, is the generic form. I will explain how to configure a generic form. If I go to the site and I click on the contact us, okay, if you click on edit here, and you click, for example, here in the button submit, automatically it appears here the option to choose the I don't know what's happening today. Let me again. If I go here, click on editor, and if I click on edit, if I click on submit, and I see here, well, you know why? Well, and now the way to configure is click, for example, here in submit, and you see here this is a section named form, and here you see which is the action. When submit is to create an opportunity, and which is the sales team associated with this form. As is the generic form is the sales, and which is the salesperson. The salesperson is the person who is going to deal with this inquiry. Okay? And for a specific
So there's also Slavko with the hand raising. I don't know if it's for this.
Sorry. Yes.
Okay, sorry for interrupting. I want to ask. I understood that you just created a sales team, but they didn't catch how the follower is connected and why it must be. What is the relation between the person as a follower and this process of creating a team? Didn't get it.
Yep.
So, well, I don't know if you. No,
Alba, you can answer.
At the end, the sales teams, as a configuration point of view, they are configured from what Jesus explained. But then there may be different entry points in which this sales team will be used or will be notified or in charge of different actions. No, so when it comes to the website interface, they may be different forms that may lead or may assign tasks or inquiries to this sales team that we have configured. So what Jesus just showed now on the addition tool from a specific form on a page, from there you can select. I don't know if you saw the drop down, Jesus. Perhaps you can go again.
Yes.
But from there you see the drop that this particular form will create opportunities, will notify the people, followers of the sales team that we saw before, for this particular sales team that we have selected here. If this contact us, instead of being a generic contact us, what specific, and now Jesus will explain, we would change that sales team. No, you can keep on talking, but
Yes.
yeah.
If I go to the, for example, again, if I go to the website, I go to one of the catalog, example research infrastructures, and I click on edit. This is important. I'm not going to one of these objects. I'm going to the generic catalog. Generic means the generic view of the catalog. And if I click on here, automatically here it appears. You can see, maybe it's small, but you can see here the sales team associated with this catalog. In this case, research infrastructure. We can choose another one, but in this case, research infrastructure manager is the name of the sales team of this catalog. Okay, and which is the person associated, because you can choose one or another person. Okay? The concept of followers is that once this opportunity is created, when there is an exchange of information, all the followers will receive notifications about this inquiry.
But you said that you must be a follower to create a sales team.
No. The concept of the follower is the members of the sales teams should be followers of the sales team.
Okay, I didn't understand. Okay, thank you.
And then now you see.
Perhaps this configuration that you see right now, that it's here on the catalog level, will affect all the contacts forms that we see when we click on a specific resource here. So any resource that it's clicked here on the contact will notify the configuration that we have set here, which is the research infrastructure manager. Just to clarify. Yeah.
Yes. And then if I go to the next slide, which is the information that we receive when the opportunity or request is created. Remember, it's information from a form. As if they are authenticated, that is most of the forms that we are using, specifically for the catalogs. We have the institutional email. That means that we can know which is the university behind. If this user is already in the system, the contacts module, it will appear associated with this user, this partner. The terminology they use the partner, and all the fields that they have filled. Okay? Let me go to the. If I go, for example, if I go to this card. If I go to the CRM, remember that they will go. It's here in CRM. Here we have our examples of different inquiries that has been created. Okay. For example, this inquiry, I created this inquiry, is what I showed before. This is a generic form, not authenticated, and the only thing that we have is the mail, because they picked the mail. The I'm interested was the box, the description of the inquiry, and as extra information we have the company name that they add in the form, that we don't know if it's real or not, because it's example.com, and the name, the contact. Okay? And then what happens? What happens is that now we have this interest. What we can do with this interest? First, what we can do with this interest is, well, if I receive an inquiry, this John Smith, I'm interested. What we can do is we can send a message. Okay. Here, and if I send a message, in this case, when you click on send message here, you can mark if you want that. In this case, if you want to send any message to John Smith, I have to mark here. Okay. Automatically, when there's I click on this, I have to create this, because the system don't recognize the example Inc. as a company, and then we have to create this company. Okay, and this company, this contact, okay? And if I save and close, okay, that means that we have now this contact. We'll see what is this contact now here, and with this mail. And now I can send an email. In this case, this email is a fake email. That means that they will not receive anything. But I can explain. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your interest. Can you call me? There is no sense because they will receive any email. If I click on send, automatically, okay, that means that the system do not your email, the system will do sends an email to John Smith now, and he will receive an email with this message. And if the John Smith reply to this email, automatically it will appear here in the terminology they use chatter. This part they mention they name this part as chatter. That means that all the exchanges of messages, email messages, that means that for John Smith, they don't know, he doesn't know that we are using the tool. He receives an email, he replies to this email, and this email is going to here. And who is receiving this email is all the followers of this opportunity. By default, the followers of these opportunities are the members of the sales team. In our case, it was because this opportunity was created and before adding usuary open. And now the followers are myself and example. And I can add another follower here if I'm interested that somebody else is involved in this opportunity, this inquiry. And we can exchange information about which is the requirement or the inquiry from John Smith. Okay. Normally, here we have this exchange of information, okay, and we have this in the pipeline. We have this campaign view, and we have these different stages. The different stages is new qualified proposition. This is the stages by default that we establish. We can tailor. But the idea is in the new is where the first stage, and qualified is when I ask, for example, to John Smith, I receive a message from which is specifically the inquiry or analyzing more the inquiry, okay? And then when we move, we can move because we can move this opportunity to then qualified, and when we know exactly what is the requirements and we propose something, we can send some proposition, and finally, if we achieve or this inquiry is fulfilled, we can move it. Okay? And we have of this all these logs here in the chatter, moving them from one stage to the other. Okay? This is the basic way of dealing with these inquiries. Okay? What is important here is that we have in an inquiry level, opportunity level, all the information, the exchange of information between the different stakeholders involved in this opportunity, and with even the dates here, and this that we have track of all the relation, the interactions with this. With the other example is what you see here. Normally, let me just because this normally the one is folded because at the end we have plenty of opportunities that is one. And here we have examples of inquiries coming from a specific catalog. In this case, if I go here, it was Alba, no? Alba, can you explain how do you send an email? No, I see.
Yes, this configuration has only this process has only been configured for the research in animation proposals, in which is usually the users that contact a specific research proposal wants to find a collaboration, or it's kind of a matchmaking, no? Mm-hmm. It's not rather of asking general information of a resource, but to get in contact with the person who created the proposal, and so there's two researchers that are involved. For this process, then, what it has been configured is an automated email, which is sent every time a person contacts research innovation proposals, and whenever someone does, it's through an automated action that we have defined, which we can configure this as needed, no, for a particular scenario. But in this situation, what it does is when somebody does create this opportunity contacting, this automatic email is sent, and as you see, well, they're as typically done in other systems, the names of the users and the title of the proposal are changed in the template wherever it is, no, and it's sending the email to the creator of the proposal, which is me in this case, because I created the quantum enhanced neural networks. I put this proposal one day, and when someone, the demo user, as you see here in the customer email, contacted this proposal, I'm added as follower, as a receiver of this email, and I'm sending an email saying, "Hey, we're reaching out to inform you that the demo user has shown interest in your research innovation proposal with title whatever, and as a result, we're facilitating this. Oops, here there's I see that there's something about another template that I messed up. But either way, the message that the user wrote, which is here, I am very interested in this proposal, is also put into the automated email, and then from an external user, I will receive this email and I will reply to this email. And when I reply to this email, the demo user will receive my reply, and we will be in this loop. In this case, for this particular case scenario, it's not necessary that the manager of this catalog, in this case Jesus, does any particular action. He will receive the communications that these two users have as notifications. It can be deactivated if necessary, but this will be as the automatic email was sent, they will already be in communication, but it will be all locked here. I don't know if it was clear.
Yes, because remember which are the different, we have here three stakeholders. One is the who proposed this this idea that is Alba. Alba proposed this quantum enhanced neural networks for predictive healthcare systems, and the demo user was looking in the searching the catalog and finally found that this proposal is interesting for him or for her, and she filled the form, and the form create an opportunity. Automatically, the opportunity this opportunity was created, and automatically there was sent this mail to Alba as a proposer of this idea. And I in the middle, because I'm the manager of this service. I just receiving the notification that this new inquiry has been created. Okay? And it's quite tailored. But remember, it's important by the way, just to confirm this is the catalog element. This is the catalog research and information, and this is the element. That means if I go to the element, you see that Alba is here. Okay, contact person is Alba. Okay, that here is because for each element, in this case proposal, there is something that somebody that proposed this idea. That this information is not appearing in the catalog because we want to promote the usage of the CRM module. Okay? Because if we add in the element the mail, or in this case from Alba, if somebody is interested in this proposal, we'll send an email to Alba, and we lose track of what happens afterwards. We don't know if it was successful or not. In this case, with the CRM, we can keep track of what is our impact. And this is basically the big difference between having just a catalog of objects or using a CRM. But this is up to you to use it or not. But this is one of the additional features that have the CRM. Yes, Zlatko?
Yes, one question about this matchmaking. So on the public page, there is nothing that will show and present this communication, what's happening between the people involved. Okay, and what is happening when this one proposal is out of date, or how it is removed, or how it is going to be managed later on?
Well, There, you mean how these proposals are gonna be like when they are
Updated.
not applicable, they are removed from the catalog, no? Publicly displayed at least.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Who is in
So
charge of that?
yes, for that, typically what well, what we do, there's this way of filtering results of the catalog on the configuration of the catalog. There's a filter
Validates.
in which, sorry.
I think it means that for now we can validate. For example, we can
Yes,
unvalidate it.
for sure, it can be invalidated, but to do it automatically, there's a way to filter results, even though they are stored as validated, to filter them out on the display on the public view, and rules such as and the expiration, if this field which contains the end date of a course, let's say, no, and when it's past this date, we don't want it to show. So a particular rule can be configured so that if this field date is before to today or to this kind of rule, then it will not show. These rules can be configured specifically for the catalogs. By default, there are no filters like that on the catalog, so they are always there. But this can be configured from either from the end of the website, and if it's a little bit more complex rule to be applied, then because of course, if someone finds collaboration and they don't want to have it displayed, they can be a specific case, no? And then the person would, I guess, either contacts the Agora to say, hey, I want my proposal to be removed, or some automated process could happen, no? If this, I don't know, Jesus, if you talked about feedback, automated.
Not yet, but yes, it's an option. The message is that it could be quite configurable.
The thing is to analyze a specific process, no, for a catalog, and particular in the matchmaking, if it is required that after, let's say, this communication of matchmaking that has been done between Alba and the demo user, after 15 days, we want to configure an automated email to ask them, was this communication fruitful? Did you manage your expectations? I don't know if Jesus, you wanted to explain later, and I'm advancing to this. But if this happens, and then this is processed as resolved as one, and this proposal is as one, there could be an automated process that if this kind of this element opportunity is put as one, that means that this was a fruitful that. To remove it and to invalidate it automatically. So this could be for a specific case scenario, but as it's a variant for each particular matchmaking or case, it from scratch it's not configured. But what I would outline from this is that it's important to have clear the process, no, and if there's a clear definition of the process, then from a definition of that, we can read it and we can configure the automated points. But when it comes to automatic emails, changing the validation state or no of a specific resource, all of that, if it can be outlined in a specific process, we can configure.
Yes, in fact, we started, and one of the tools that we are using to define the business process, we are using this BPMN, business process management notation. It's a way to describe the different steps that defines your specific process. Okay, and but what we are initially offering is the basics one, but it could be configured completely adapted to specific needs. Okay? And this is the example that was Alba mentioning. There are catalogs. For example, there are the generic inquiry that there is not automatic, because the generic inquiry we have to read what is requiring the users. But in the catalog, for example, for matchmaking, is we send an automated email to the people that is involved, and the manager is only there receiving notifications. And even we can configure that they don't only receive the first notification and not the following exchange of messages. That means that the important thing is to have a clear idea. And for us, it's very important to have experience for other alliances, the way of doing, to look up for these best practices. But this is an example of we were and it was mentioned Alba. In this case, for example, in this business process, that one of the possibilities is that, for example, there's exchange of messages. I don't know if you can see it or you can do it more. The exchange of messages, because at the end, we have different swim lanes here. This is the BPMN approach. We have the researcher and we have the manager, and in this case, the infrastructure, the contact, the infrastructure contact. And the researcher, in this case, infrastructures, and the researcher fill the form, and then there is an exchange of messages. And after 14 days, for example, it can be configured that they receive who was interested in this, receive a feedback question. Okay, was fine or not your interaction, and in this case is where, for example, the service manager is receiving this notification about the feedback, and finally. Let me go a little bit. And finally, we move the opportunity to work. This is one of the concepts that I wanted to explain, because the idea of there is somebody who wanted to no. The idea of this opportunity life cycle is that we have this initially funds submitted, then the opportunity created, automatically assigned to the responsible. And sometimes, depending on this catalog or the type of catalog, type of service is automated or less automated. Less automated means that the service manager has an important role in just forwarding or writing. And there is a solution proposed, or there is this interaction of information. And finally, it should be marked as won or lost. Won if it has successfully fulfilled, or lost if not. Why is this won or lost stage is important? Just to analysis of what happens with these interactions with the different stakeholders. Okay, this is the idea. Okay? And then just a reminder that all the communication in the opportunity is that we have that this person is the primary contact, but all the followers will receive notifications in the messages. Okay? That means that if I go just to explain, to finally explain this one. No, this one. If I go, sorry, this card. If I go here to the CRM and see the CRM here, and remember, we have this exchange of information. That means that, for example, if Alba as a member of the contact point of this idea, and the demo user who is interested, they are not using they are not using the words. They are only external, exchanging messages, exchanging emails. Okay? And if I want to send a message, we can use this. And just to explain these two other options, if I send a message, all the followers will receive a notification, an email notification. If I click a log node, it's an internal node in the sense that, for example, I can write something that is not notified to the followers, just to have a internal message. If I want, for example, if I want that this log, for example, if I write this, good initiative, good initiative to follow. As is an example. Okay, if I log this, nobody receives. If I log node and I write, for example, Parnas is not involved at all in this, but I think that she is interested. Take a look on this, for example. Only Farnas will receive a notification. And this is the approach. Yes. And you can see all the tracking messages. And the activities are a way to, I would say, to help with the different tasks associated with this opportunity. For example, we can write a to-do, for example, email, a reminder to the followers, to the contact point, to contact person. Okay, these are due date. I will, for example, I will assign this to, in this case, a format, for example. And if I click on schedule, it will appear here a task. Okay, that means that we have this additional way of planned activities. Apart from this, we have, I will not test all of them, but email, call, a meeting. We can create a meeting. It's an ICS, exchange of information, and this appears in the calendar of the different and Farnas can mark down or edit. You can, okay. This is additional tools to work with the documents. That means that we have these, messages. You can send yes, plain text or rich text. Yes, for if I go here, this is in this message. For example, if I click here, this is a plain message. Okay, for example, hello. This is a plain, and if I want to send a message or a log note, if I click here, I can just write the rich text. Okay, for example, I can write item. Okay, this is a detail that when you start working with these tools, you see this. This concept of chatter is applicable to most of the cards in the cards or records in the okay, this concept is very important that you are familiar with this approach, because it's one of the main tools. And now we have these 10 minutes left. If the idea is to, well, if you want to try it yourself, or
Yes. If you want to access the platform that we were right now, I'd send the link before, but I can send it again. No, Jesus?
yes,
And then, if in order to fill the forms, the contact us, which is doesn't require authentication, you will be able to fill. But if you want to go to a specific resource on a catalog, or even create a new catalog element, like a new proposal or something like that, you can use the user and credentials that I'm sending these, because there is no EduGain authentication configured on this platform, testing environment. And if you want to know, Jesus, right?
yes, you can test it, and we will see what happens in the CRM.
We will see the creation.
Yes.
But yeah, Jesus, did you also mention the flow of someone creates a new resource that the opportunity is created? Perhaps I can clarify something.
Yes, while you are
we wait on this, because if something you change or modify from the specific sales team, it will be relevant. Okay, here.
You want to?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Just for a sec. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so you see my screen, right? We mentioned that the two contact forms from the website that are the ones regarding when someone contacts the specific resource, which is this contact button, and the generic forms as the contact us and some of that. But there's also the other process that triggers CRM opportunities creation, which is whenever someone creates for as resource of some catalog. This doesn't require any configuration from the website perspective. I mean, from the website perspective, I think we mentioned in another training, but this form, if we see the configuration of the form, I went to edition. We don't have as an action, we have an action that creates a resource of, creates a resource of this kind, a research infrastructure. This is the name of the model, no? That's what this form does, the action that it does. But here I don't see any configuration regarding the sales teams. So the configuration for that, it's on the back office, and this is what I wanted to show you. Here, there's the list of the sales teams, and in this particular case, which one was the research and innovation proposals. If I click on it, as you see, there's a catalog involved related here. That means that if a resource of this catalog is created, it will be not applying or sending the request of validation of the resource to this sales team in particular. For that, we can test it, no? But if I will show an example here. If I click test webinar, So this is the test example that I'm doing now. I'm not, oops, you don't see there's
No.
a delay on my screen. I'm sorry. Test webinar. Here I submit. What here on the sales team, on the sales opportunity pipeline will show, there it is. It says creation, an opportunity has been created, no? Creation of this resource and the name of the resource. So this was triggered because I configured that sales team was gonna be notified, and the sales team followers were Jesus only. That's why he's added as a follower of this. So there's actually these 3 ways of creating opportunities. Yeah, that's it. I don't know if we can.
Yes. The thing is that as well, so you have this.
I'm stopping.
If I go to, let me see. If I go to just examples that existing examples. If I go to, let me share my screen. Existing examples here is that this is the Unite Agora, and the Unite Agora they have, for example, these three forms. These inquiries about general inquiries about digital campus, that is Meta Campus, Agoras, and webs, and this is an example that the user can fill this form. They can click, and when you click on an option, automatically it appears sub options. Okay, and even you can see that it's quite flexible, the configuration of this kind of forms here. Okay, that means that you can play with this, and this is a generic form, and we have, with this method, we have processed about 600 inquiries in Unite. And the other example is, for example, this Unite catalog for students. This is a catalog. This is a form to propose new courses, okay? And it's configured in the way that Alba mentioned before. That means that when you create, so here automatically is created an object of the catalog that has to be validated by, in this case, by the research manager. So the research manager, the course catalog manager, because just to avoid that, or to be sure that it fulfills the standards. Because, for example, this summary is not complete, you have to. But the idea is that the manager, in this case, the catalog manager, she, in this case, Melissa, she's not dealing with copying and pasting information. Directly, the object is created, and she has to just review and validate or require for additional information. So that means that is a way to create it for this specific catalog, the different objects. Okay? That is that. And just to see, this is the by the way, one thing is that when you go to this, let me see, if I go to the pipeline, by default is filtered by my pipeline, and that when you are going to this pipeline, you see only the pipeline that you are the salesperson. Salesperson is the person in charge of these inquiries. And if you just click this, in this case, I see all the different opportunities, the different inquiries from all the sales teams. And that means that is interesting. And let me see.
To mention, Jesus, yes, that at the stage that most of your alliances are, which is in the testing initial stage, when you requested access to the CRM, you are given the access to visualize, the administration access, which means that you can see all the inquiries. But there's this intermediate access in which users that only are followers of, that means that, for example, imagine Farnas, it's only managing the research infrastructure proposals and should not be seeing opportunities on the CRM that are not about that. There's this way of granting access to users to see the ones that the opportunities that they are followers of. That's a way to separate the matters. But the ones that you are given at the initial stage is the administration to test how this looks.
And in this case, I see that there is this new, no, Alba, you created this. You created this company, your alliance. You fill the form, I understand, no? In this
It was the creation of the research infrastructure proposal that I did. That research
case.
infrastructure.
Okay. Okay.
That I don't think nobody created more.
No. Well,
No.
but you see that this the option to create quite no, the quite automated way these opportunities and deal with these different inquiries.
Hmm.
I don't know if there is any yes, Rafko?
It's me again. Last week you showed us how we can change some fields in some form on the website and provide some some process and relation between these fields. Is it sufficient to change the form of the inquiry, or we need some extra settings configuration in the background in the back office?
For forms that are generic forms that are not applying to any catalog, you mean, or for the catalog forms?
For instance, you show just now the inquiry form for students.
Yes. So
Can we change the fields and the work on this, or we need some extra permissions or knowledge about how to do in the background?
no, if it's an inquiries form from the website edition, you can modify all the fields that you wish. And as the back office model doesn't have these fields, all the information regarding these fields that the user has filled, for this example, will be concatenated or joined on the description or in the body of the opportunity, and there you will have all the answers to the different fields. Because of course, if you add one on the website and it doesn't have a specific field on the back office, it wouldn't know where to put it. That's why it puts us it writes like a little text with all the answers of all the fields that you added on the website on the body of the description of the opportunity. But you don't need extra access. You should be able to modify the form from the website.
Okay, including the matchmaking forms.
The matchmaking form, no, because this is specific to it's not a regular inquiry form. It's creating a resource. It's creating a proposal, which is a catalog element. So if the form creates a catalog element, the fields of the form will be the ones that are from the model in the back office. So the way to modify the fields on the catalog elements. So yes, for the matchmaking, it would be a case. The structure, the metadata of the catalog should be modified. At the moment, with the access you have, we would have to make these changes.
Who need to change to provide these changes? You or in our case?
No, in the stage now, the problem there's a problem there could be problems when we talk about modifying the model's structure, because for matters of unification of what the research infrastructure fields should have, what the research infrastructure should have, the fields should have. We provide these fields for you. If extra fields should be added, there should be no problem. And we want to, on future trainings, we will show how to modify this from the interface, and you should be able to modify it at some point. But this comes with a risk, because if the structure of this model is modified so much, maybe a process that was together with this entity may be a problem. Or if at some moment a catalog of all the research infrastructures for all the alliances, that's the situation, no? Would want to be created, they would all differ so much of the fields. So initially we would like to strict, or not to remove fields, but to add them perhaps. But as this access, it comes with some risk. It should be limited to the people on the alliance. In this case, for your alliance, it would be you for sure. But to restrict this access to only a set of users that are really aware of the models of the alliance. But yes, the thing is that on future trainings we will show how to modify this metadata of the catalogs. We already said that on previous webinars. And you would be granted the access to do that. But as it's a little bit delicate, we haven't still defined ourselves how to train that onto you and how to do it. But I would expect that.
Yes, because the matchmaking, both for academics and separate model for students, was the motivation for us to start testing Agora. That we have a pressure from other work packages to provide such a module.
Okay, so well, in this case, we can also meet with you and talk about this use case and then work together with you and this configuration. This would be better, the better case, rather than do it on the webinar. But
okay, I agree with that.
And
about matchmaking, and would like to leave time for others. For someone who posts a proposal for matchmaking, is it possible to change and edit or put some extra information later on?
Yes. No. Yes. The person who created from the interface will see only the creator of the research see an edit button that they can modify the things from the interface.
And they can also unpublish or make it no.
Exactly.
Unpublish, no, because it's from the service manager. Well, we can unpublish.
Unpublish.
Unpublish or validated, which is the difference, no?
No, they could actually. Right now, it allows them to edit the information, but it doesn't have like the bin option to remove the resource or to. But we should add a button somehow there that it doesn't remove from the database, but that it makes or triggers this request for the UPA people or the people managing that to unpublish or to unpublish it. It should be active. At the moment, it's only the edition, but we have to change this. I mean, it needs to. Yeah.
Yes, because it's important to differentiate validation with to be published or not, because just to avoid that there is something that is not relevant for the proposal appearing there. Okay. Well, there's another question, or we can finish. Yes. Thank you for attending the webinar, and see you next time. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.